Some of my favourite Ableton tips are all about saving time, and most of them involve spending some time setting it up so you can save time in the long run. But with this one, it's so quick to set up, you'll be kicking yourself if you haven't done it already. So I'm back again with another one of my quick tips. Every single day this month I've been giving you a brand new music production tip. If you've not seen any of the ones so far, then definitely check out my channel. They're all still on there. But in today's quick tip, we're talking about something that's going to save you a whole load of time that takes no time at all to set up. Now, you ever wondered whether you could drop an EQ straight into Ableton and it has all the settings set up how you would normally set it up? Or maybe even adding an audio channel and have everything all set up on that the way you want it to? Well, you can actually do that. There is a setting in there, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I've already mentioned this tip on my channel before, but it's such an important one and one that will save you a whole load of time. So I'm going to drop an EQ8 on this empty channel here, and this is how the EQ8 starts up as default. But what if we could actually change the default so it kind of starts up with something that's a bit more useful? So let's set this up how I would normally set up my EQ. Well, usually I'd actually cut some of the bottom end up first. So I'm going to enable the first band on here. I'm going to change the filter mode as well, something a bit more extreme. And then I'm going to cut up to about 30 Hertz, for example. Mostly when I'm adding an EQ8, I usually kind of get rid of anything below 30 Hertz. And I might even do a bit more than that. But that kind of makes more sense as a default for me. I also would turn on oversampling. This gives you a much better result from the EQ. So I'm going to turn that on. So I've got this set up now in a way that kind of how I would like it set up by default. So all I need to do now is right click on it and go to Save as Default Preset. This allows me to then save this as the default for when I add that EQ8 in the future. So if I click that, it'll actually warn me, do I want to overwrite it? Well, yes, I do. I want to overwrite the default that's already in there. So I'll click yes. Then if I delete this EQ8 and then add it again, you'll see that it adds the same every single time. This is amazing and it will save you so much time. And you can do this with all of your other audio effects, MIDI effects, and even instruments. So you can set them up in a default way that will load the same every single time. Now we can also do the same thing with channels as well. So say for example, I've got an audio channel here. If I set this maybe to -5 dB. Maybe I want every channel that I add to always be -5 dB when I add a brand new channel. And maybe I want an EQ8 on there. Maybe I always put an EQ8 on there. And maybe I put a utility on there for when I'm automating the game, for example. I can put that on there. Now I've got this set up exactly how I want it to. And what I can do now is right click on here and then go to Save as Default Audio Track. Again, it will ask if you want to overwrite the default, which I do want to do. So if I click yes on this, and now if I add a brand new audio channel, you'll see that this is set up in exactly the same way at -5 dB with the EQ8 on it and the utility all set up and ready for me to go. Now I could also do the same with a MIDI track as well, for example. Maybe every single time that I add a new MIDI track, I want to have a scale on it. So I want to keep it within a certain scale. Say for example, I'm always producing within the minor scale. I'm going to drop a C minor preset on there. And again, I'm probably always going to want the EQ8 on there and probably the utility as well. I might want to automate the volume of it as well. And let's also adjust the volume. So that's also -5 dB as well. Now all I need to do is right click on here, go to Save as Default MIDI Track. Again, it's going to ask me to overwrite it. And that's now all set up. So when I add a new MIDI track within here, it has the scale plugin, it has the EQ8, it has the utility, and it's set as -5 dB, all ready for me to go. So as you can see there, it's so easy to set up. It really is just a couple of clicks, and you can always come back to it a bit later if you want to tweak it. So say for example, you want to take it down another couple of dBs, or you want to put another device on there. It's quite easy, just put it on there and then right click, save as a default preset, and then you've got it ready there. And it will save you so much time. Honestly, from putting that scale plugin in, that EQ plugin in, that utility plugin in, just saves you all that time, and it's honestly so good to set up. So go through, set all your default presets, and you'll be surprised how much time it will save. And if this video has been useful to you, definitely subscribe to my channel. As I say, there's loads more videos on there and loads more coming this year. So definitely get subscribed, hit that notification icon, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next video.